Welcome back to the Panic Room, everyone, and to another tag video today. So guys, this is a different kind of tag. Today's tag is the Scottish Patter tag, and I was tagged by the very sweet, very dear Edie Lewis Reviews. And if you guys do not know who he is, you are missing out. He is a sweet, sweet person. He does really awesome videos. You just gotta go check him out. Just go subscribe. I'll wait here. Just go subscribe. So guys, if you have been around here for any length of time, you know how excellent I am at pronouncing all of these different names and such in various languages. So today is really going to be an exercise in that. In all seriousness, I am going to apologize because this is full of a lot of like Scottish slang, I'm pretty sure, and I'm all but certain I'm going to butcher it. So I am going to apologize now because I know it's going to be a train wreck. However, you guys know how I roll. You tag me, I'm going to do it. It might be horrible, but I'm gonna do it. So let's get started. All right, prompt number one. All right, pal? I think it's all right, pal, which is a greeting or a term of endearment. And that does make sense to me because pal is like a term of endearment in English as well. So that makes sense to me. So it says tag 4 people you'd like to see in this tag. No. If you want to do it, do it. You guys know how I feel about tags. I always feel like I'm intruding. All my tags are open, so do it. So prompt number 2. Did ye, eh? Which is sarcastic, said when you don't believe someone. This makes sense to me too because we kind of do the same thing in English. We're like, but did ya? You know, like, so I saw a lot of parallels there. And it says, name a memoir or biography, etc. that wouldn't be believed in fiction. I'm going to take this like something that would be really outlandish, like maybe somebody who lives like a super outlandish life. I don't know, I'm so bad. I'm really bad about like following celebrities and stuff. So I don't know, maybe somebody who has like a really interesting job, like a hot air balloon person. Is that a thing? That's not a thing. People don't operate hot air balloons. The reason I think I go there is because the podcast that I like so much, Mysterious Universe, they talk about this guy who like went around just trying to get these crazy stories from a bunch of people in all kinds of different countries. And, you know, most of them were like people in the service industry, like taxi drivers or things like this. So I think like maybe a book like that would be cool. Like maybe, I don't know, talk to a ton of waiters or a ton of, I don't know, teachers or something. Someone who works with the public and get like their craziest story and put it in a book. That is probably so far out of the realm of what that tag was asking. But anyway, we're going to go with that. All right, prompt number 3, Iowa and Billerheed. God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That is anger and frustration telling someone who's talking nonsense to get lost. A book that made you angry. My usual go-to for this is The Ruins because those characters were idiots. But in the spirit of putting something new out there, let's go with Satan's Manor. The character, the lead character in that book was so stupid, I found myself getting irritated at her. So we'll go with that, Satan's Manor. All right, so prompt number 4. Havna a Scooby, nonplussed or when you don't have a clue. A book you couldn't follow or one you didn't understand the popularity of. Okay, I've met a similar question like this in a tag previous to this, and I can't think of which one it was. However, I really have never read a book that I couldn't follow. And I'm not saying it's because like, oh, my big brain time. No, it's not that. It's just, I really usually can follow a book. But the one that jumps to mind is like The Eye of Argon. That was hard to follow, but it's because it was so poorly written. And I mean like grammatically so, it was really hard to follow. So maybe that one. As far as the plot goes, I can't say I've never not been able to follow a plot, really. Like, I can usually get the gist of what a book is about. As far as a book that I didn't understand the popularity of, I just read whatever the hell I want. I'm not super up on what is popular. The only, like, gauge that I have for that is how many videos I see people doing about a certain book. And sometimes I read it. Very seldom do I read it why it's so popular, but sometimes I do read it. And usually it is worth the popularity because my friends are smart like that. So, yeah, that would be my answer for that. Prompt number 5, belter. An admiring or descriptive when you think someone or something is amazing. So a beloved character. Besides Richard and Kaylin from the Sword of Truth series, y'all know it was coming. You knew it was coming. I'm gonna say the sister in The Vegetarian. I really sympathized with her. She really hit me. in all the feels. So yeah, she's kind of special to me. I'll go with her. So the sister from The Vegetarian. I'm not going to say her name because it's an Asian name and I will probably butcher it, and there's plenty of that going on right now in this tag. So just the sister from The Vegetarian. All right, prompt number 6, ball bag. All right, a scrotum-based, I knew it! A scrotum-based insult, which can also be affectionate. Welcome to Scotland. I mean, it does. It sounds like the English equivalent, ball bag. That's hilarious. Okay, a hated character. Well, I've already mentioned Satan's Manor and the Ruins. You know what? We're gonna go with Link from The Devil's Laughter. I hated that guy. You talk about egotistical. Holy God. Every single page, everything about that guy, I disliked. So yeah, Link from the William Johnstone book, The Devil's Laughter. All right, prompt number 7, Tuchter? A description, a person who comes from the Highlands. A book from off the beaten track of your country. Pretty much everything I read. There's a lot of shit that I read that would be considered off the beaten track. Any number of the indie horror books, any number of the extreme horror books, all of those would be off the beaten track. You know what though? Let's go with Below, because it's got a Mothman on the cover, and you know, I hail from West Virginia, land of the Mothman. So yeah, let's go with that one. I guess that kind of makes sense, right? It's in my country, it's a state. Just go with it. Moving on. Prompt number 8, Pure Baltic. A description, very cold. A book set in a cold location. You can also have a rainy option with drenched, like drenched. See, I got you. So the one that actually jumped to my mind is one that I read ages ago, and it's a Dan Brown novel. Those of you who don't know, Dan Brown is the one who wrote The Da Vinci Code that blew up. I'm here to tell you he has far better books than The Da Vinci Code, and one of those was Deception Point. I enjoyed Deception Point for what it was. In a nutshell, it's, hey, we found life in an iceberg, and antics ensue. But it was fun. It was fun. I remember enjoying it. And I remember that that was the book that I read by him that made me come to the conclusion that The Da Vinci Code was far and away not his best work. And I was like, why is this so popular beyond being inflammatory? So yeah, Deception Point by Dan Brown. All right, prompt number 9, Taps Aff. A description of weather, joyous exultation when it's sunny and warm enough to strip off. Is that like take your clothes off? Perfect summer read or your most inappropriate beach read. I guess anything that I read would be considered inappropriate. I still say that summer reads, when people say summer reads, it just puts me in mind of fantasy. So maybe something in that realm. The last fantasy book I read was The Blade Itself. And, you know, if you like fantasy, I really think you would enjoy it. It had some pretty decent world building. There were a ton of characters. So many characters. But I think if you enjoy fantasy, you probably have already heard of Joanne Abercrombie, so maybe something in that vein. Whenever I think of summer reads, for some reason my mind goes to fantasy. Prompt number 10, greeting. An action or crying. What would make you cry more? Never being able to reread your favorites ever again, or never being able to read anything you hadn't read before? Well, since I don't reread, and for some reason that causes some very strong emotions in people, which I found out in my deja vu tag, I'm gonna go with the other one. I would probably cry more if you told me I couldn't reread anything new. All right, prompt number 11, Gwain Yourself. An encouragement or to go for it. A book that lived up to the hype or does shape your feeling about a book. I'm going to say Slewfoot for this one. Now, I was kind of late to the party reading Slewfoot, but it is a really beautiful book. It is worth the praise that it gets. It's worth all the positive attention that it gets. I really, really enjoyed it. And, you know, I think it combined a lot of things that I like. You know, it has that, like, dark aspect to it with the witchcraft. Plus, it had some amazing artwork, which you guys know by now sucks me in. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Slewfoot for this one. Prompt number 12, Gayet Lodley. A description of behavior to get carried away in the moment. Shout out a book you don't think enough people have read. Earthlings. Just do yourself a favor, read it, okay? Mr. Morningstar sent it to me. It is absolutely amazing. It's, oh God, it's just so good. I said this in the review that I have for this book. If you are the type of person that finds yourself apologizing for every little thing, it's going to hit you in ways that you probably don't want to be hit, but it is a very powerful book. It is not for the faint of heart. There's triggers to be had in it, but I think it's definitely worth the read. I really do. It's scary without the blood, guts, and gore, really, and you'll never guess the ending. So I would have to say Earthlings for that one. Alright guys, well that is it. Again, I feel like I need to apologize for my absolutely atrocious attempts at speaking Scottish, but it was fun. And actually there were some pretty interesting ones here that I had to think about, so I always appreciate that. And another huge thank you to Edie Lewis Reviews. Don't forget guys to check him out. Of course, I will have him linked down below. You are really missing out if you don't have him in your feed. He's an incredible human being, so go check him out. And guys, thank you for hanging out for another tag video. Please, if you like this, hit like, hit subscribe. It would really help me out. And until next time, bye for now.